Welcome to Galaxy Brains.
An infinite amount of cash.
I'm your host, Alex Thorn.
The U.S. banking system is sound and resilient.
Bitcoin made a new all-time high.
If you're not long, you're short.
Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
Bitcoin's the best crypto out there.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
Welcome back to Galaxy Brains. As always, I'm your host, Alex Thorn, head of firm-wide research at Galaxy. Bitcoin not zero. We have a great episode for you this week. Evan Solomon, chief of staff at Portal Ventures, co-founder of the Midwest Blockchain Conference and recent graduate from the University of Michigan, former president of Blockchain at Michigan, the blockchain club there. He is our guest. We're going to talk with Evan at length about this big conference that's hosted at the University of Michigan. It's coming up. It's called the Midwest Blockchain Conference, but it is a conference for college students from around the country to come and learn about crypto and blockchains. Very interesting conversation with Evan about what the younger generation thinks about crypto, what they view their prospects in the job market for crypto. If you're like me, I mean, I'm older, when I entered the job market, literally the Bitcoin white paper had just been released, right? There was no industry. And so folks like me got into crypto and Bitcoin, as part of during our careers, but now that's not the case. It's actually a very interesting conversation with Evan about what we can expect from a new generation of leaders in the crypto and Bitcoin industries. Of course, we'll also check with our good friend Beimnet Abebe from Galaxy Trading, as always, to talk about markets. And before we get to all of that, I need to remind you to please refer to the link to the disclaimer in the podcast notes and note that none of the information in this podcast constitutes investment advice or an offer, recommendation, or solicitation by Galaxy or any of its affiliates to buy or sell any securities. Let's hop right into it. Let's go now to our friend Beimnet Abebe from Galaxy Trading. As always, Beimnet, welcome to Galaxy Brains.
Thanks for having me.
So we're recording on Tuesday, September 30th, not our normal Wednesday, because I am in Singapore for Token 2049, and it is 11:30 p.m. for me, 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday for you, just to set the date and time for the audience so they understand when we were saying these things. But one thing that we just cannot get around, I know we've talked about, but gold just absolutely continuing to rip. I mean, the chart is like, if you look at it, zoom it out, it's mind-blowing chart. It actually makes me wonder why it took so long for gold to rip this well, because it was stagnant for over a decade.
Yeah.
Or about a decade.
No, I mean, I think there's just a lot of forces coming to a head right now, right? There's the big push to kind of diversify away from, U.S. assets, and that's a really hard thing to do. There's also just the fiscal policy element where, we're continuing to print more money. And then there's the Fed credibility component where, there's some folks that think that, that the Fed is not appropriately tackling the inflation challenges. And then there's, a little bit of doubt over kind of just general U.S., supremacy. And that is kind of, why you've seen, gold do so well. And, I think there's a big push from folks like the Chinese and the Chinese government to make it really like a cornerstone of financial markets. And what I mean by that is, the reason why U.S. dollars have proliferated as much as they have and U.S. debt has is, or part of the reason is because, Treasury bonds are tantamount to cash, right? There is trillions of dollars in repo that will lend to you versus any Treasury security at a 1% haircut to its value. So I've got $99 worth of a bond, or $100 worth of a bond. I can borrow $99 worth of cash at the front end interest rate. And so, it's essentially equalized, Treasuries to cash. And, therefore, U.S. Treasuries have become like this kind of pristine collateral across our financial system. And I think there's a broader push to kind of make gold, part of that collateral HQLA, standard, not domestically here, but, abroad at least. And so there's the fact that, it's being pushed as the kind of basis for all of, general collateral or a lot of general collateral. And then there's kind of the push to get away from U.S. assets, and so there's just so many different things that are coalescing to drive this price action, and it's really hard to ignore because when you add gold to a portfolio now, it's like it's risk reducing because it hasn't been that volatile, and it's adding out performance, and so it's just it's there's just so many things lining up for it, and there's a lot of folks that are in crypto that wish that Bitcoin was having a kind of a similar moment, and that's totally fair, but at the end of the day, like there is some value to having like such a strong government backing to it, and gold being around for centuries, and it's something that an average person can buy without onboarding anywhere. I could go to my jeweler and pay in cash. I could go to Costco and swipe my credit card and buy it. Nobody knows that I own the gold, and so it is like literally universally accessible. Obviously, there's some drawbacks to it, but yeah, high level, I do think that there's some folks that are rethinking their Bitcoin thesis on the back of just how well gold has performed, and kind of their outlook on a go forward basis there, and I think those questions and concerns are warranted.
Yeah, I think that's right, and it makes sense, um, be, for there to be some consternation among Bitcoiners about seeing gold perform this way, because it is so obvious from the performance that something structurally is broken or people are afraid about. It's a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, you and I, now for years on this show. But Bitcoin has also often benefited from those fears. It just doesn't seem to be at the moment. Is it stagnation in the everybody already longed Bitcoin, and there's that next wall of onboarded people has yet to become believers? Like, is it purely an adoption and flows question, you think? Or, I mean, I can assure the audience and you, nothing has fundamentally changed about Bitcoin during this time.
Which
So,
is the beauty
like,
of it. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think that it's just the adoption cycle ultimately, and I think just because of just how much got baked into BTC and broader crypto, especially after the election, and just how much good news has come out, like it's just going to struggle to move higher, and it will over time, because it should be a better play than gold, right? And so I think you just need some more time for the adoption story to kind of build out. But again, like gold went through periods where it did nothing, right? But the thesis was still super sound, right? And so you can have these periods in markets where not much happens, and maybe that's what Bitcoin is doing now.
So let's move on here too. I know I mentioned at the top we were talking about we're here talking on September 30th, which is a Tuesday. The US government is poised to close once again. I feel like when this first happened, not first, but this happened what, like 2010 or so, when there was that first US government credit rating decrease. That I was just a few years out of college then, and I remember that seeming like, oh my God, I've never even heard that this could happen. Or like maybe it happened once during the Clinton era, I don't recall. But like now this seems to happen all the time, right? And we're on the precipice of it apparently happening as soon as tonight as we record this. The odds on Polymarket that the government shuts down by October 1st, which is honestly, if you're listening to this pod, that will have already passed. I think we're going to release this on Thursday, October 2nd. They have it at 80%. Is the government going to shut down? And what I guess we all know the effect, I think, now from watching this happen many times. First there's some essential employees who don't have to leave, and then they sort of like try to phase out like the least essential, and eventually it becomes a big deal if it lasts like weeks and weeks. But like, what is the impact on markets, you think, if any? Just like even in the short term, it shuts down. Maybe it's only shut for 3 days. Does that impact markets? How long does it have to be shut down to impact? Or yeah, what are your thoughts?
That's the $1 million question right now in the marketplace. And so far, even with the, poly market odds, north of 80%, it hasn't really impacted stocks that much. You're within spitting distance of all-time highs. You're one candle away, let's put it that way. And so it doesn't seem like the market cares right now. That doesn't mean that, if we progress and it's starting to look worse, that it won't impact markets. But ultimately, like the U.S. government is one of the largest consumers of goods and services in the world. And so if they do pause, in a meaningful way in terms of timing wise, it should be a drag. Now, the beauty of it is like the employees, like once the government's back on, they get their pay. The services, the purchases, resume after the shutdown is over. So there isn't like, a whole lot of concern about like long run kind of impact. But I do think it's kind of telling that, there is a lot of dysfunction in the government, and that's not even with us. That's with a Senate and a Congress that is Republican and an executive branch that's Republican. And so the fact that you're having this shutdown with one party in charge is kind of telling about the fragility of our system. And so it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I don't have any like specific calls to make in terms of how long I think it's going to last or the impact. But I'm pretty confident in the market is going to look through this pretty meaningfully.
All right. Well, it's going to be exciting to follow up with you next week to see if it's still shut down, if it even happened. And until then, have a good week, my friend, in New York. And I will see you next week. Everyone, Beimnet Abebe, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go now to our guest, Evan Solomon, Chief of Staff at Portal Ventures and founder of College.xyz. Evan, welcome to Galaxy Brains.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Yes, it's very exciting to have you. I love what you guys are doing with colleges and students and getting them interested in blockchains and learning about them. Tell me at a high level what you are doing. What is College.xyz?
Yeah, so what we're doing is bridging the gap between the industry and university students. When I got to college, I realized that that's going to be the biggest issue that the industry has, and in the last 4 years, I've demonstrated that. Where, I did this blockchain club at Michigan for a while. Michigan has a strong alumni base. Michigan is a strong school. Students at Michigan have the opportunity to break into the industry and get jobs. A lot of these other clubs don't have the opportunity, and there isn't that strong pipeline where there is for traditional finance. So we're looking to build this pipeline through this conference that we do yearly and through a number of other things that we're going to roll out pretty soon.
Very cool. So, and you did a conference already. So you've done one.
We've done one.
You have your second one coming up.
Correct.
How did the first one go? That was what, last
really
year?
Well.
Was
yeah.
that 2024?
2024, November 2024 at University of Michigan. The school was like our, let's say, partner or co-host on it. Yeah. They supported us. They gave us venues. And it went great. We had about 35 universities across North America, so U.S. and Canada. What we did is we raised all this money from sponsors, and we took around 50% of that to subsidize students. Students have student loans. They don't have a ton of money to go spend on conferences. We don't want to make money on this entity anyways, so we might as well use the funds that we're fundraising to support the students that come out. And that's how you get buy-in, right? All the students are bought into the community because they get to come to this conference at a very, very low cost, or no cost, ideally.
Wow.
So we subsidized 186 students last year. They all got between $200 and $250 in subsidies. We're doing that again this year, $250 per person. And then around 60 international students with about $500 per person.
Wow.
So that's the idea. We're also doing a high school program. Now I'm getting into the weeds of specific programs we're doing. We want to fly out the 25 top high schoolers across the nation.
In crypto?
In crypto.
High schoolers?
Yep. There are so many of these cracked high schoolers. My prediction is that the high schooler is going to win the hackathon.
Yeah.
We got to get like parental signature and
of course.
All that.
It's like any like high school like trip. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was great. Event went really well last year. Companies loved it. We had some really great sponsors. Ended up helping around 50 students land internships for this summer.
Wow.
Through the conference and through stuff following the conference.
Yeah.
Many at Coinbase, many at Gemini. We had a few Galaxy here. I'm not sure it was us that did that, but
but they were at both.
Many in our community are at Galaxy.
That's awesome.
Even Lucas, the new president of Michigan Blockchain.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, the kids like the blockchain still. They haven't. It's not old news now. Do they? What are what is the interest that students are having? Are they interested in Bitcoin? Are they interested in meme coins?
It's very cyclical.
Are they interested in digital identity? Like, what is it that you're seeing from a topical standpoint?
It's very cyclical, first of all.
Yeah.
As you expect, prices dictate who's applying to these clubs and who isn't.
Yeah.
Right? When I was a freshman and just getting started with the club, we were getting 80 applicants and we didn't really have much to show. We weren't doing that much, right? By the time I'm a junior, when the market's at bottoms, we're getting 50 applicants or 40 applicants when we're doing a ton of things in the industry.
You were doing I see. You were doing a lot. You'd become sophisticated, but like interest had dried up. It was like
Correct.
literally like you're meeting in like a lecture hall, and it's like just the first couple rows during that bear market.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, pizza is a good
I get it.
incentivizer.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
mean, the club was the second biggest delegate for Uniswap. So if you're in the industry, you understand the value of joining the club and doing these consulting projects, doing these governance projects. But if you're not interested, you don't understand the importance of governance or the fact that we have such a major stake in some of these protocols, you're not gonna apply to the club. It's still hard to gauge what is the real like incentivizer for these students. Like, do they see it as a viable career path? Do they see it as a cool way to gamble? That's still TBD.
Yeah.
Um,
Or surely there's some that see it you have a diversity of
100%.
ways people see it, right?
100%. So we're doing a few things now on like our College.xyz is like we're gonna do a few like onboarding sessions with Pump Fund, and we're gonna get some soul in the hands of the students. We'll see how that plays out. It'll be a cool experiment. There is a lot of like experiments that need to be done on campuses to see on the user side, on the developer side, and then the actual talent onboarding side.
Yep.
So we're doing a number of things across the industry to kind of test those things out.
That's cool, yeah. And like and you do educational sessions, or I guess if you join when we talk about a specific club and not like let's say you were at Michigan, right?
Yeah.
And so like the club there that you were a part of, like were you doing like educational sessions or bringing in speakers and stuff like that? Were you teaching people how to self-custody?
Yeah. So you apply to the club. We accept around 30 people. Once you're accepted, you go through like a 10-week educational curriculum. Lucas ran our educational curriculum. That's how he built himself into the president of the club. Curriculum goes great. Then you apply to join one of the teams. We have 4 different teams, or we had. I mean, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
But 4 different teams: governance, consulting, investments, and a developer group.
Cool.
You apply for these teams, and then the club or the leadership will go out and source opportunities for all these teams. That is a great way to break into the industry.
Yep.
You know, that puts us on par with all the other clubs on campus, if not better than these other clubs. The issue is crypto, and people are scared of crypto, so nobody's going to think of us as the best club on campus. Are they still scared of
crypto on campus?
To an extent, yes.
Interesting.
There's just a stigma that you can't shake of like there have been all these scams. We don't understand the actual utility of it. If you're a finance pro, you might get it, but if you're in
Right.
any of these other like liberal arts degrees, you don't get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's like, I mean, you could go home and you see your cousins and like they probably look at you and they're like, oh, he knows everything.
Well,
they're probably still shaky.
They've been laughing at me for more than 10 years. I think that makes a lot of sense. It does still, I think today, it is primarily a financial technology, right? People want to do DPIN or social or gaming, but none of that, in my opinion, from my vantage point, is really permeated out into mass adoption, where it's like it's still seen as like or said another way, I think if you study finance or markets, you understand some about the plumbing of how assets work, how money works. Then the triple entry ledger that Bitcoin is, or that blockchains are, and their distributed ledger nature becomes super interesting to you, because you learn about how stocks trade or are accounted for, or how the Fed works, and then you see something so different and so performing the same function. It does still feel like and I guess the question then is, how many arts degree people did you have in these clubs, or was it mostly developers, computer science, et cetera?
Yeah, it's generally a mix of business and computer science. At the end of the day, I think people still think of it as an investment vehicle. They're not understanding the infrastructure, and the fact that there's no intermediaries is important. I think that there's some education that needs to be done there, right? That's one thing that we're very focused on right now. If we can, there really is no education curriculum right now that you could implement at these clubs or at these universities, right? What I want to do, what the end goal, the hope is that all these universities adopt an actual curriculum and then offer a course to educate these students, right? But how do you get there?
Some do, but very few.
Very few.
I know Columbia does. My friend Omid Malaykhan, who's been on the show a lot, is a professor at Columbia Business School, has a great course there. I've spoken at a number of times. I think NYU, I'm just talking about what's here in New York. NYU, I think, has something. Austin Campbell.
Michigan has something, but it's like, it's not much.
It's
right?
amazing.
It's a digital asset course.
Yeah, and then places like Stanford, some of the more tech-oriented schools, MIT, they have technology curricula, I think, about some blockchain technology, but that's pretty much it. It does seem like, if stocks are going on the blockchain, the chairman of the SEC has said that traditional assets will be on blockchains. Surely then business programs and finance and economics courses should cover blockchain.
Correct. So the goal is to build this curriculum at some point and then be able to implement it at all these blockchain clubs so that everyone has the same base level. And once you complete this base level, then you have the opportunity to access all these other opportunities.
Interesting. Would you do like so you make your own course, syndicate it?
I think it has to be student built.
Yeah, but syndicate it.
Yes.
So there's some standardization.
Correct.
And then would there be like a test or like a
test at the
certification?
end, some sort of certification at the end. And then, that will exist on this College.xyz site where you go and get educated. Another big piece of it, what I'm really excited about, is this bounty page where companies that we're consistently working with can come to us and go and launch bounties so that they can kind of outsource some of the work that they want to do or use it as a way to find the best talent, right? Let's say Coinbase comes to us and says, hey, we want to find the best product, or best graphic designer, right? They can go put up this graphic design bounty that the entire student base, because we have the distribution there, can go and complete.
That is
and they can go find the best talent, right? Let's say you guys want a research report on, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And you guys want to outsource it, and you guys want to use it as like somewhat of a test on like which students are the best. You can go take this, you can go put up a $500 bounty, and that's that. So that's what I'm really excited about because
it's a big network of talent.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
Michigan can go and source these consulting projects with you guys themselves, but Minnesota or Texas Tech probably won't.
Right.
So now you're opening it for everybody, and then the best talent will showcase themselves that way.
And this is sort of like where College.xyz, the website, is really probably going to be very active.
Yes.
You can post these bounties, reply to them. Is it going to be like on-chain? In some way?
In some way.
I don't know. I
don't
know what it would be.
I would like for it to be like a fully functioning DAO.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ideal. Because I'm busy. I mean,
You want it to run itself.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I think people leave the A out of DAO. They talk a lot about the D of decentralized.
Yep.
But autonomous is really useful. It's a on-chain robot of a company or an organization that would actually save a lot of time, potentially.
Yep.
It's something about posting. I mean, the website can post the actual thing. I'm not sure what would actually have to go on-chain. Surely, if there's payment involved, that can be handled on-chain and maybe through the website.
That's for sure.
The front end. I wonder what else you could put, like publish the text of the request as on the chain, I guess. I'm not sure.
You could. I mean,
I'm not sure if you need
that's
to.
when you come to like, is it really need to be on chain? Does it help things?
I agree.
Make it too complicated.
And I'm typically a guy that says like, does it need a blockchain? In fact, the first report I wrote on blockchains and crypto at Fidelity was, do you need a blockchain? ? And the report was mostly no. In these, it was like there was a great academic paper. I think if you went to doyouneedablockchain.com, Phineas, go to that website and doyouneedablockchain.com and let us know what it says. It used to be like a decision tree, like a flow where it's like, oh, is it this type of data? Yes, no. Is it this type of data? Yes, no. That eventually was like, no, you need a permission database. No, it was based on this academic paper. Mm-hmm. So I agree, though. Not everything needs to be on chain.
We did this conference last year. It went really well. We're doing this conference again this year.
Yes.
It is going to be December 5th and 6th in Ann Arbor. We have some really great sponsors, Galaxy, Solana.
Yep.
We haven't really announced this publicly, but if somebody gets this far into the podcast and they get the alpha here, Galaxy, Solana, Coinbase, Gemini,
Let's go.
Uniswap, Ledger. So a lot of really these companies that are looking to work with universities.
And you're going to have university students from all over the country?
All over the country. 750 students we're aiming for from 75 universities globally.
And if you are able, you mentioned this before, to use the sponsorship money to help sponsor the students, does that include like travel?
Yeah, so I mean, we're
It's
going
not just a free ticket.
No,
is it?
It's free ticket, and then we're giving them $250 in subsidies to cover travel.
Incredible.
Right.
I don't even know of any conference that's ever done that.
Yeah,
for
so
students.
we're going to raise, let's say a few $100K this
That's
year.
That's amazing, though.
And then we're going to use, 100, 150 to
Help students
cover.
get there.
Exactly. Because we're a nonprofit anyways. So
right.
So we launched this College.xyz, which is the nonprofit host of this conference.
Yep.
This conference is called Midwest Blockchain Conference. It needs to be rebranded. Maybe University Blockchain Conference, maybe something cooler.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not Midwest anymore.
You got to come up with a name like Solana, just Breakpoint. People are like, what is that? I don't know, man. It's the Solana conference.
Access Point.
Sounds cool. No, I think honestly, I joke. Midwest makes it sound like it's not for the whole country.
I
so
know.
we're going to work on that.
It's an issue. That's why we need to launch College.xyz.
So you can,
Because then we started doing these programs with like onboard 30 students to Farcaster and help them get paid by Farcaster to use the platform. But they were like, we're working with the Midwest Blockchain Conference on this. We're
You
not
like
even
the
doing a
American
conference
University
activation.
Blockchain Coalition, but I do.
I thought about that, but there were
something
so
like
many
that.
of these legacy programs
Yeah.
of like Blockchain Education Network or
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Blockchain Acceleration Foundation that haven't worked. That you need something that's a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
So we got the
fair.
College.xyz domain. We're gonna roll with that for now.
College.xyz is pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. What do you know what like global jurisdiction XYZ is as a subdomain? I don't know. It's like, you know, every subdomain actually belongs to like
I have
a
no
country.
idea.
It's probably like
Somebody
some
did
island.
connect me with the founder of
Because like
of
IO
.xyz.
is like some like tiny little island nation. Literally.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Like
about.
there's
I have no idea.
I wonder where it could be. They did release some like version, I forget what they called them, version 2 domains. You know, .media, whatever that aren't, and maybe XYZ is one of those that are not actually. I was just wondering.
Uh-huh.
It's funny because you can't look them up in like a normal Whois block domain explorer. You gotta like go to like the XYZ
Yep.
explorer. I like College.xyz. That's good.
So I'm excited about that. And then these companies are actually using the event as a way to funnel talent into their
Absolutely.
organization. So we're going to give Galaxy an interview room.
Yeah.
Right? Galaxy's not going to want to do full formal interviews, but to get your foot
Come
in the
meet
door.
Galaxy. So we'll have like a talent acquisition person there in addition to any speakers we have.
Correct.
And by the way, like, is it like so you're gonna have speakers and what panels?
We're
Like
going to have speakers, we'll have panels, we'll have workshops, primarily developer-focused workshops. There will be a career fair. So it's like companies will set up booths and you'll be able to interact with these students for hiring or for building relationships with these blockchain clubs.
Mm-hmm.
You got an interview room. So, you know, we're going to give you guys a resume book of all the students that are there beforehand. You could flip through and actually start to schedule your interviews beforehand and just do 50-minute coffee chats with somebody from Vanderbilt, somebody from Texas, somebody from Michigan, somebody from Minnesota.
That's awesome.
And just build cadence with them.
Let's go Vandy, go Doors. I went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah?
Just as the one
I
you
didn't know
happen
that,
to
but
use.
I'm
I
good.
know.
I mean, I was thinking of Will.
I
here-
know. Yeah,
here.
Will Owens, who works here at Galaxy, also
Yeah.
went to Vandy. Yeah, no, I'm just
Vandy's
joking.
a good club.
Yeah. Is it a good club?
Yeah, good
Do you
club.
know like a lot of the clubs
Yeah,
from
yeah,
this
all of them.
work? That's so cool.
Mhm.
Do you know
So it's fun because, like, you know, I don't work with these people, but I get to, you know, build
well,
relationships.
it's great for
with people
you
from everywhere.
and the whole College.xyz.
Yeah, and Portal. I
I was
mean,
gonna say, and everyone else that actually goes, they all
Yeah.
get to meet everyone.
mhm,
It's
and
pretty cool.
that's one of the reasons I joined Portal, where, you know, Portal was already investing in this young talent, right? Katrina, one of our general partners, was hosting the Penn Blockchain Conference.
Yep.
So she already has a very strong cadence with
Also,
this
a good
younger
blockchain
talent.
club. I'm aware of it. Penn.
Yeah, good blockchain club. Now we get to put these students in a position with, if you guys are serious builders and you're going to build something, we can support you with venture funding and get you rolling
Right.
and mentor you
well,
guys.
you'll know them earlier, and you do early stage venture investing, and College.xyz can help. It's actually incredible synergy. It's quite smart.
Yeah.
We get asked all the time to go and do college career fairs and stuff, and it's just there's too many colleges, right?
Exactly.
This is like a nice.
Now you bring them
centralized-
all
yeah.
to the same place, and that's that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a pretty big hackathon. Very excited about the hackathon because there's so many of them. Now we have like the proper student hackathon. Like, who is the best student developer? Like, I want to spin up a poly market of like
And
which
you have to
university is
be
going
like
to
a
win.
university student, right?
Yes.
Like you have to have like a I don't know.
.edu.
.edu.
So the bounty platform and the website's going to be gated by .edu.
Love it.
Um,
So you have to be a student.
you have to be a student.
There's no cheat like you're a.
Thing is, I just graduated, so
You still have-
technically I'm not a student.
Well, there you
My
go.
email works, but
Well, okay, fair, but I think that is really cool, and I love. Yeah, you can have like you should. I mean, obviously, the individual student would get the credit for winning a hackathon, but you
Yeah.
can also just put up the like college logo.
Yep.
Dude, like like Southern Illinois won this year. Good on them. They beat out MIT.
Yeah, or the high schooler.
Right, or the high schooler. You think that was what you were saying. You
That's
think
that's
the
what we
high
want.
schooler might win.
You
right?
never know. I mean,
Yeah.
they're building sperm racing. We were exploring doing like a sperm racing event. I'm not sure you've seen sperm racing.
I have not seen that.
You
What
haven't
is-
seen sperm
no,
racing?
no.
Oh, sperm racing was viral a few months ago.
God, I gotta. And maybe I'm showing my age.
They're
here.
racing. They're putting sperm on like a petri dish and they're racing it. So it was a big sperm race, like UCLA versus USC.
No way.
My mom's gonna watch this and she'll be like, "Why are you
Hey,
talking
this
about
was
sperm
science, though.
racing?"
This was science.
It was science.
Oh my god.
So
that's
our high
amazing.
schoolers working at sperm racing. So we were exploring doing like a whole sperm racing competition. They want to do like an on-chain betting platform that's attached to the sperm racing.
Oh my
Who
god.
is the healthiest? It's health.
Oh,
It's health.
God, I love that.
At the core of it is who is the healthiest sperm.
I
And
think
it's high schoolers that built this.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I mean, I have young people that work for me, and I used to think this. Like, so I was head of blockchain research at Fidelity, and I was like, and I'm head of research at Galaxy, and I was thinking, I was like, in 2017, when I became head of blockchain research at Fidelity, I was for sure on a relative basis one of the most knowledgeable people about blockchain, at least in the finance world. But years later, now you've got people that are economists with PhDs that are part of the reason. I mean, I was good, but part of the reason was there weren't many people interested in it.
Yeah.
Right, and that changes all the time. And sometimes I'll meet someone who's like, "Oh yeah, they know some." I'm talking to them, and I'm like, "Wow, you really know a lot about what's going on in crypto and blockchain." Like, but you're only 22, and I'm like, "Well, wait a second." They're like, "Yeah, well, I got interested into it when I was 14." I'm like, "What the f?" Then I'm like, "Oh, it is 2025. Bitcoin's been around for 16 years. Like that's possible now." So
There's some
young
of these
people,
17, 16-year-olds.
I mean, but Satoshi launched the blockchain on January 3rd, 2009. I was already 23. I was 23 in 2009.
Yeah.
So there was no opportunity for me to like crypto.
Yeah.
But that's just not the case anymore. And I think there is a lot about crypto and blockchain technology even more broadly, but that is more appealing to young people naturally, partly because it's revolutionary. It gives the chance at saving, growing, or storing your wealth, in an economy that's, widely perceived to be rife with crony capitalism and wealth inequality, right? Like there's an uplifting idea about the innovational potential of crypto, but also that it's still tech,
100. I mean, we're very focused on the U.S.
Yeah.
But internationally, there's so much demand where we're getting like 12 applications from Malaysia because they see it as a way to break out of their system.
Yeah. I think after you get your feet wet and oil the gears on this a few times, like expanding internationally makes a lot of sense. Or do one conference in the UK, or like I'm not saying like you necessarily spin it up to like every college in the entire world.
Yeah,
that would be a lot. But you could do the conference in some other. I mean, Asia, the Middle East, and Europe are all.
So right now we're like,
and South America.
Right now we're like, let's just get 5 of the best talent from each of them.
Yeah.
We're like Hong Kong University will get 5. TUM in Germany will get 5. Cambridge, Oxford.
That's going to be
Imperial.
amazing though. You are going to have some international.
Yeah, all of them. So we're looking to get around 5 from each of those. We'll do 500 in subsidies. It likely won't cover everything.
It's going to become a huge network.
Yeah. So I mean, if there are companies that want to sponsor and help these students come out for free, because at the end of the day, like these 3 students that are coming out from Australia are going to have to cover a good amount of cost themselves.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
If there's any Australian-based blockchain companies that want to support the young talent in Australia,
You hear that, Aussies? Get to my mates down under. All right, get in touch with Evan. Check the show notes. We'll put Evan's contact info in there. We have an office in Hong Kong. I think we would be very interested potentially in which I don't know. We have a whole business in Hong Kong. I gotta ask our man there, John Cahill, who's been on the show. I think they do some outreach in Hong Kong with students and stuff. It's just such an interesting global phenomenon, right? Crypto and blockchain generally, Bitcoin, like the ledgers are obviously global. Well, they exist nowhere and everywhere, right? So there's no borders on chain, or at least there shouldn't be. So it's not surprising that people are interested in everywhere, and that they're all going to meet in Ann Arbor.
I think they're qualified for these roles too. The thing is, like, then some of these companies want you to have a visa, and they're not going to go through this visa process.
Sure.
So that's
maybe you
hurdle.
can't get the job in the U.S., but again, Coinbase has stuff all over the world. Galaxy, we're in
for sure.
We're in New York, London, Hong Kong, the Caymans, Tel Aviv, Dallas. I mean, we have a lot of places. Like they don't all require an American visa.
Yeah.
So I mean, and surely others do too. Separately, there's just crypto companies all over the world anyway. Like so, but it's helpful to have that network, to know people. Everybody knows this in any business or industry, I should say. Like that's why people go to industry conferences to meet their counterparties. And
there's so much more that can be done outside the just jobs.
Yeah.
Like one thing we discussed last time is proper validators at these universities. That could easily be a subsection of what the clubs do.
Right.
And right now there are some tools or there's some ways that the people are going about it, but it's generally like centralized. They're not really owning these validators.
Yeah.
If these clubs can run their own validators, or these universities can run their own validators,
cool.
Very cool.
A lot to learn around that. We have a big validator business here, and it's not as easy as just like set it and forget it. Like it's not same thing. A Bitcoin mining business, also not easy. Lots to learn and share about that. I think it's really, really cool, Evan. How many people do you expect this year total to attend?
People, I haven't been saying people. I've been saying students.
Students.
Aiming for 750 students.
That's pretty big.
A chunk of that will be for Michigan.
Is it going to be like in a giant like lecture hall?
It's in the business school in Michigan. We're doing a few cool things. We'll do our like sponsorship dinner in the big house in the football stadium, hopefully.
Nice.
The hockey team screwed the hockey ticket sales kind of screwed me. They promised me they would call me the second tickets come out, and I was gonna buy all the hockey tickets available.
Oh, so you could go to a game.
And just the whole conference is going to a Michigan hockey game.
Yeah.
But they like whatever. They
Well,
didn't
we'll
call
find.
me.
So surely there's
I mean,
a
you can find our own
squash
tickets.
match we can check
I mean,
out.
yeah.
I mean, Michigan's huge. You went there, right? How many students are at Michigan undergrad? Like 50,000.
Yeah,
or something?
about 50. Yeah,
It's huge.
50, 40.
That's 10 times the size of.
So we
Vanderbilt.
have the whole business school Friday, Saturday. They gave us like kind of the whole like walking area
all
for
the
like
rooms,
the career
the main
fair.
lobby stuff.
Yeah, we got all the big rooms.
That's sick.
Commissioner Purse is coming out to speak, which will be really great. She's
Love
doing one of the
Commissioner Purse.
keynotes. Yeah, she came into Michigan. So she's another example of somebody that just reached out to blockchain at umich.edu.
Just
and
emailed it.
Yeah, and I'm
Sick.
just driving, and I'm like, there's no way this is real.
You were
She's
like,
like-
it's an sec.gov email address though.
Crypto.sec.gov.
Pretty sick.
And I was like, I was driving. I was like, "There's no way this is legit." I call Shashank, my.
So did you
co-president
just
at the
graduate
time.
like in
in
May?
May? Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been going all around the country doing this.
Yeah.
I hear this all the time. She wants to meet small crypto firms, companies, or startups that are 10 people or less in Berkeley or in Boston or the club. So she's done a lot of good outreach.
Yeah, she's really great. And I asked them, I was like, why did she reach out to us?
Yeah.
She's like, she keeps a very strong touch point on everything that's going on in this industry. And, it's just because she wants everything to be fair.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. So we did a speaker event with her last year. I moderated that. I'm never going to moderate a panel with her again because
You might.
supremely unqualified for that opportunity.
She's been on this podcast twice.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan.
Me too. She was really great.
I encourage you, if you haven't, but also to tell the students that you go on the SEC's website. You can see every public speech or written statement that any commissioner has ever done. And Hester is one of the most prolific in the history of the SEC. She's got like more than 450 written statements, and some of them she's a phenomenal writer, like just separate from the topics. Forget the subject even. She's got a beautiful way with words. She's got a great one that I've been obsessed with a long time called The Secret Garden, SEC Grit Garden, all criticized from years ago, criticizing the SEC's like non-transparent approach to rulemaking at the time. And you can see that she is just on that topic, she is very much following through that now that she and Chairman Atkins and Mark Ueda control the commission, she's working very hard to be transparent. Anyway, it's just phenomenal writer. I recommend people read everything that she writes. It's really, really excellent. I tell my team, we're primarily writers. Most of where the rubber meets the road in investment research is writing.
Yep.
Anyway, she's goated. Big fan of Hester.
Yeah, big
Not
fan.
surprised.
they're covering it. So they're actually doing a task force in Ann Arbor.
No way.
So I look at all the task force sessions, and
Yeah.
it's like New York,
DC,
SF,
DC,
DC,
yeah.
LA, Boston, and then Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I love
and
that.
I was like, this is sweet.
UMichigan's a great school. It's a big school.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I'm hoping they do it as like a student task force session where you get all the best students
It's like
in the
open
same
to
place.
the public too, and like
I mean, open to the public,
student
sure,
I
but
mean,
like
students.
you get 15 or 20 of the best students, and you just get them all in the same room to just chat policy.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really impactful.
Yeah.
Because there are 15 to 20 students that are deeply in
yeah.
the industry and can provide very strong insights there.
Love that.
So that would be fun. But yeah, I'm with you on the research. I mean, I joined a venture firm 60 days ago, and I haven't written this much in years.
I think I always tell people, just as an aside, should tell students like clear writers are clear thinkers, right? You can't be a good writer unless you are a good thinker. The whole point is getting that insight from inside your brain into a conveyable format, right?
So one thing I think would be valuable to the student base, at least, and I've been saying this a lot, like one-on-one, is like, how do you enter the industry as a university student? What are the steps that you need to take to get there? First of all, join your blockchain club. If there is no blockchain club, create your blockchain club, right? Use College.xyz or these other entities as a way to source speakers, source opportunities, or just complete the bounties on the platform as a way to build yourself up, right? That's step one. Step two is you got to get a Twitter, and you got to be active on Twitter. There's no reason not to be. You start writing. If you get no followers, you get no followers, but people will support you. We'll repost you. We want you as students to get visibility. If you're a developer, build out your GitHub. That's the first thing that all the companies are going to ask.
Yes.
They ask that every time. engage with these other ecosystems. If you're interested in building in a certain ecosystem, just hop in their Discord and start building cool things. You'll catch their eye. It's not, use the fact that you're a student as a way to reach them. It's like a hack.
Yeah.
You can get free tickets to all the conferences. You can get access to all the companies. When you're graduated, it's probably a bit harder. But when you're a student, you have like a unique angle that you can play there.
Yeah.
And just start doing things. Like there's this classic meme of like, you can just do things.
It's true.
It's so true.
It's so true.
You know, you could go just launch a conference. You
Start
can go
coding, start writing, start meeting, start asking questions.
Yeah.
Get involved.
You know, if you want to go work at the task force or in the SEC, just start writing.
Yeah.
You could shoot them an email, crypto@sec.gov. They'll respond to you.
Yeah. They will.
It's not. They will. It's not that complicated.
I know.
But it's like, that's why we need to build this, because in traditional finance, there's this classic structure of like, hey, I got to do this, then I got to learn this, then I got to join this club, then McKinsey will come to campus,
right?
And I'll interview with McKinsey, and if I don't get McKinsey, I'll get PwC or I'll get whatever.
Yeah.
In crypto, there isn't that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we can build this event or this pipeline where if you want to go work at Galaxy, then you have an opportunity to write and get your research, showcase the Galaxy and get hired there.
I think it's really exciting, Evan. It's a brilliant idea. It's much needed, and I can't wait to meet more of the students.
I mean, I know you said you probably can't come to this
I'm not sure.
again,
We'll see. I'm going to look at it.
Maybe this pitch was good enough.
December 5th and 6th
December
in Ann
5th and
Arbor,
6th.
the Midwest Blockchain
I'll get you a
Conference.
ticket to the hockey game. I'm trying to get a box, so we'd love to have you in the hockey box.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Evan, and thank you so much for coming on Galaxy
Yeah,
Brains.
thank you for having me.
That's it for this week's episode of Galaxy Brains. Thank you to our guest, Evan Solomon, Chief of Staff at Portal Ventures and co-founder of the Midwest Blockchain Conference, and to our good friend, Beimnet Abebe from Galaxy Trading. Everyone have a safe and happy weekend, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening to Galaxy Brains, the weekly podcast from Galaxy Research. If you enjoy the show, please like, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To follow Galaxy Research, sign up for our weekly newsletter at gdr.email, read our content at galaxy.com/research, and follow us on Twitter at GLXY Research. See you next week.